We have been learning Python since a while now, and you learn a lot about Python till now. You already know about making your own functions, how you can call it, how you can create your own Python script, and how you can execute your own Python script. You have also seen how you can fetch the function into your programs from external modules using import statement. So in this lecture, we are going to understand how you can create your own modules in Python. We already know that how you can fetch a module from the Python. The modules we are fetching is the predefined modules in Python. Now in this lecture, we're going to understand how you can create your own modules. So let's take a look at how you can create your own modules. But first, let me show you how you can import, or you can say how you can fetch the predefined module of Python. So let me just create here a simple statement. Now to import module from Python, you can simply start with the import keyword. And then you need to pass the Python module name. Here I'm going to say math. Now you already know that how you can import module in Python. Now what I want to get the scene method from this module. So I'm going to just first print it. So I'm going to say here print, then call math.scene. And then I'm going to pass here 0. When I execute this file, I'm going to have result 0.0. So I'm going to get the result using this scene function. So as you can notice, I'm using this import statement to import this module from the Python package. So we have this module already written in the Python package. Let's take a look at how you can write your own modules. Using modules, you can import your own program in any Python project. Isn't it cool to have your own module which you can use in any Python program? Let me just show you how you can create your own Python program that can be imported as a module. So let me just get rid of this statement. And now let's create a new file to create a new module. I'm going to create a new file here in this project. I'm going to open my project and right click here and say new Python file. I'm going to name this file Python. You are free to specify any name to this file, and I'm going to specify extension .py. Now once I have this Python file, let me just write here a code. So here I'm going to simply create here a function, define hello, and in this function I'm going to return something. So here I'm going to return Python module, just like this. And now back to the index.py file, and now here I'm going to import this Python module. To import this Python module, I'm going to simply say here import, then specify the name of the file. As you can see, I specify name for this file Python. So I'm going to say here Python, and now once I have this module, let me just call this hello function. So down here I'm going to say print, then specify the module name python.hello. Now when I execute this file, you can notice I'm going to have Python module as a result. Now you can notice how easy it is to call the Python module in Python. Let's enhance this code a little bit more. Now let me just get rid of this function right from here. I'm going to simply say here print statement, and in this print statement I'm going to say Python tutorial. Now when I execute this index file, what do you think? What will be the result? When I execute this file, I'm going to get an error message, because as you can see, I don't have this hello function inside this Python module. So I'm going to get an error message. Let me just remove this hello right from here and execute this file again. When I execute this file, you can notice I'm going to have Python tutorial as a result, and then we have the Python module. Now let me show you what happened if I try to call the same code inside the Python console. You can notice on the left bottom corner right here, you can notice you have a Python console. Just open it, and now once you have the Python console, let's try to execute these statements. So now I'm going to first execute this import Python statement here. So to execute this statement, I'm going to say here import Python, just like this. When I press enter, I'm going to have Python tutorial as a result. When you execute this import statement, it's going to call this Python tutorial text and print it on the console. Now what if I try to execute the same statement again? Let me show you what happens if I try to execute the same statement. If I just say here import Python, and when I press enter, I'm not going to have anything here. Why doesn't it work this time? Because modules aren't really meant to do things such as printing text when they are imported. They are mostly meant to define things such as variables, functions, classes, and so on. And because you need to define things only once, importing a module several times has the same effect as importing it once. The Python is going to import this module only once. If you try to get it multiple times, the Python will not do anything with it. So you just need to keep in mind that modules can be imported in the file only once. What makes module worthwhile is that they keep their scope around afterwards. That means that any classes or functions you define and any variables you assign a value to became attributes of the module. You already seen that with the previous example. So the hello function is the method of this object. Now let me just back to my module and just call this text inside the function. So let me just wrap this text inside a function. So here I'm going to say define hello, and in this hello function I'm going to wrap this text. I'm going to print this text inside this function. Save this file back to the index.py file, and now let's try to execute this import statement in the Python console. Now let me just reload this just like this, and now let me just execute this import statement. Here I'm going to say import Python and press enter. When I press enter, I'm not going to have anything because as you can notice, I have this Python function inside this module. So we need to call this function with a Python object. So down here, I'm going to say Python dot hello, just like this. When I press enter, I'm going to have Python tutorial as a result. So it means in the Python module, if you have function in the module, it becomes Python method, or if you have variables inside this Python module, it became Python attribute. Let me just back to my index file, minimize this Python console, and now let me just call this hello function. So down here I'm going to say hello, just like this. Execute this file. When I execute this file, you can notice I have two results. It's going to return the Python tutorial as a result and return none because the function is going to return nothing. So I'm going to have none as a result. The default value function return is none. So I'm going to have none as a result. Inside the Python module, you can create different functions. You can call classes. You can inherit different classes and do many things. I hope you understand how easy it is to create your own module in Python. Practice with this code to understand how Python module work. I will see you in the next one.